love it. I love it. I love it. Look at this. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Hey, I'm not surprised.
Hey, what's poppin', guys? Hope you guys are doing well, doing blessed, having a good day, having a good week. This one's gonna be Strickland taking on Magomedov, a good main event. As always, we take a look at my bets from last week. Hey guys, let's go. Clean sweep, 5 for 5, let's go. Tabafarici was my first bet, and in hindsight, you know, I capped on -150. She looked more like a -400. You know, Gillian Robertson is just so one-dimensional. It was an easy bet to make, a great bet. Randy Brown and Aaliyah Tapira, this was a good bet. Easy parlay, super easy. Macy Barber at +170. This was a good bet, a great bet. And Jack Jenkins close to +200. This was a great bet. His Muay Thai looked great. The kicks, so good. And a parlay with Shane Burgos and Brendan Allen, which just smacked. It just smacked. So yeah, really good card for betting. And I kinda needed that after a couple bad cards. You know, it's always good to review every single bet you make. Even if that's a losing bet or a winning bet, you've got to go back and look at that bet. And hindsight's a wonderful thing. But guys, after a couple bad cards, to go back and review this one, hey, let's go. Now guys, MoneyCity, if you see your name on the screen, you already know, that's money. May the MoneyCity gods bless us again. Let's go. Alright, moving into the first matchup on this card, we've got Guram Kutateladze taking on Elves Brener. Now guys, this matchup is a pretty straightforward matchup to break down. We don't really need to spend too much time on this matchup. Guram Kutateladze had a very tough UFC debut against Mateusz Gamrot, and Gamrot was undefeated at the time. And Guram showed a nice ability to work back to the feet anytime that Gamrot was able to get a takedown in that matchup. And also the Muay Thai striking of Guram, it looked good in that fight. You know, both the kicking and punching, really excellent. Then Guram went on to fight Damir Magomedov, who's one of my favourite Muay Thai strikers in the UFC. And it's a shame that he's going to be retiring after this fight, but yeah, his Muay Thai is good. And it was a good fight, you know, a really good fight, but Guram kinda got fatigued past the halfway point, which kinda led to his composure and his sharp Muay Thai striking kinda taking a hit. Now guys, on the flip side, Elves Brener does have a win over Zuba, which in my opinion, and in most people's opinions, he did not win this matchup. But if we analyse the performance, you can see that he really likes to kick. You know, likes to throw a lot of kicks. So that's what he's going to do against Guram Kutateladze. But in my opinion, Guram is a really good Muay Thai striker. So Elves Brener kicking is probably not going to work. And I'm not saying that the kicks of Elves Brener ain't good enough, but you know, the opponent he's competing against is really experienced with kicking. So I think the front kicks, the low kicks, the switch kicks, the teeps, all the kicks that Brener has, I think for round one, they may look good. But yeah, guys, ideally, Elves Brener would like to get Guram to the mat and implement some jiu-jitsu. But that's also something that I'm kind of doubting. So for me, I'm going to side with Guram to win this matchup and potentially a TKO stoppage. I think his money line is obviously at a price where you don't want to bet because there's just no value, there's no return. Some people will still parlay it, but yeah, there's just no point. The pick is going to be Guram Kutateladze. Alright guys, moving into the next matchup, we've got Alexandr Romanov taking on Blagoy Ivanov. Now essentially, this is going to be grappler versus grappler. Blagoy Ivanov has never really impressed me too much throughout his UFC career. He did survive getting stabbed in the chest, which is pretty impressive. Now guys, looking at his most recent performance, it was a good fight, a close fight. But then you look at the final round against Tybura, he got absolutely mauled. And that's not really something you want to see when your next opponent is all about the grappling, all about the ground and pound. Now guys, I went back and rewatched all of Alexandr Romanov's UFC matchups, and this guy is an absolute beast. He's super strong, and he's looking for the King Kong ground and pound smash. You know, he's looking for King Kong punches on the mat, and we know King Kong is OP. And guys, if the King Kong punches don't work, the forearm chokes, they're not off the table. You know, he'll drive his forearm with 250 pounds of pressure right through your neck, you know, until the blood's cut off from your brain, which is really nasty. When you think about it like that, when the opponent's on the mat and you're just driving down, all your weight going through your forearm, you know, that's kind of nasty. However, guys, when we look at the cardio of Alexandr Romanov, absolute garbage. Real garbage. He's pretty much a one-round fighter. And he's good. He's good in round one. He takes all of his opponents to the mat. And he would have got Volkov to the mat if Volkov didn't grab the fence. You know, don't forget that Volkov blatantly cheated in that fight to win. It was a good TKO stoppage, but grabbed the fence. Super blatant. But yeah, guys, to summarize this matchup, I think Blagoy Ivanov at 5'10", 5'11", I don't think he's going to be big enough or strong enough to stop the takedown from Alexandr Romanov. Romanov is always successful with his single leg. You know, once he runs the pipe on the single leg, it's like he always gets that takedown. And even if it's not a single leg that he wants to use, he can just throw you through the air like King Kong to get a takedown. So yeah, give me Alexandr Romanov to win this matchup by a stoppage, round 1 or round 2. Alright guys, moving into a matchup between Joanderson Brito taking on Westin Wilson. Guys, this is going to be like the shortest breakdown I've ever done in my life. Joanderson Brito inside the distance. Joanderson Brito round 1 prop. Under 1.5, under 2.5. Joanderson Brito round 1 TKO prop. Joanderson Brito wins this matchup. Alright guys, moving into the next matchup, we've got Ivana Petrovic taking on Luana Carolina. Now this is a very interesting matchup, guys. Low level women's mixed martial arts. Some of my favourite matchups to bet on. And also some of the most infuriating matchups to lose bets on. Now guys, Ivana Petrovic is an undefeated mixed martial artist who competed against this opponent in our last matchup. Now guys, I'm not going to get myself banned from the platform, but the picture says what I want to say. Now guys, Ivana Petrovic hasn't competed against anyone that's good competition as of yet. And Luana Carolina isn't exactly great competition, but she is going to be Ivana Petrovic's most difficult opponent to date. And Luana Carolina is a Muay Thai champion. You wouldn't really guess that by watching her striking, but yeah, she is a Muay Thai striking champion. And her knees in the Muay Thai clinch are pretty good. Her boxing, not so much. And her head movement is also pretty non-existent. However, I still think this matchup is pretty close to 50-50. You know, it's low-level women's mixed martial arts. Volatile city. You know, give me the big underdog, Luana Carolina, to win a close matchup. Alright guys, next matchup, in my opinion, you shouldn't really be looking to invest on this type of matchup. Yana Santos has never impressed me. Her boxing ain't great. Kicking ain't great, striking defense does need some work. She kind of just wins matchups when she can push her opponent against the fence. You know, she's kind of got this bully style of fighting. You know, more physicality than skill in the game of Yana Santos. Now on the flip side, I've got no idea why Rosa is fighting at 145 now. No idea. She didn't look good in her most recent fight at 145, which was against Norma Dumont. And I do expect a much better performance in this matchup. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section below. Are you going to be betting this fight? Because for me personally, I really don't like this matchup. Guys, personally, I think the 145 division should be removed from the UFC. You know, the women's featherweight division, just remove it. So yeah, give me Rosa to win this matchup. I'm just a little bit confused as to why she wants to compete at 145. Her calf kicks are good. She's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Her boxing at times is also good. Like I said, just a little bit confused as to why she would rather compete at 45. But yeah, give me Rosa to win this matchup. Alright guys, moving into a matchup between Rinat Fakhretdinov taking on Kevin Lee. Low-key a good matchup. Now guys, I took Rinat Fakhretdinov at -110 against Brian Battle, which in my opinion, it didn't make much sense. Because Brian Battle's offensive and defensive wrestling is really bad. So Rinat Fakhretdinov was going to get those takedowns all day. It was clear as day. Now guys, this time round, his opponent, Kevin Lee, has very good offensive wrestling. So this time, it doesn't really make much sense that Rinat Fakhretdinov is over -200, but was -110 against Brian Battle. Make it make sense. Now, you could say that Kevin Lee's had surgery on both of his knees, which is a massive red flag. He's also pretty washed, and he's also going to be competing at welterweight, which is a pretty bad division for Kevin Lee most of the time. You know, his cardio's not great, but it is going to be wrestler versus wrestler. I'd say Kevin Lee's a better striker than Rinat Fakhretdinov, but it's probably going to be a wrestling matchup eventually. And in that wrestling matchup, I would have to side with Rinat Fakhretdinov at 170. But guys, in my opinion, styles make fights. The style of a matchup is what the matchup is. So why was Rinat Fakhretdinov minus 110 against somebody that's a really bad wrestler, but now he's over minus 250 against somebody who is a good wrestler? It doesn't make sense. I think the betting line still should be closer. But yeah, I'm going to side with Rinat Fakhretdinov. If you waited to smoke with me, amen. If you've been smoking this whole time, double amen. If you're not a smoker but you enjoy the smoke breaks, that's always been a triple amen gang. Let's go. Guys, we've got multiple gangs that make up this channel. We've got the Amen gang, we've got the Smoke Break gang, we've got the MoneyCity gang. Let's go with that, guys. We're a great community. Always been a great community. Only getting greater. And guys, last week's card. Maybe I'm just saying this because I won all my bets, but last week's card, it actually felt like a pay-per-view. Like, last week's card, super good, insanely good. I've currently got 2 bets on this card, and I'll probably find one more bet to make and just try profit with that lineup. I'm not going to have like 5 bets, 6 bets on this card. It does seem like a pretty difficult card to find some bets. But yeah, may the MoneyCity gods guide us to MoneyCity. Amen. Let's go. Alright guys, moving into a matchup between Brunno Ferreira taking on Nursultan Raziboev. Super interesting matchup here, guys. It's very evident to me that Brunno Ferreira has nasty KO power. You know, he's evidently powerful, and what he did to Violent Obama, Gregory Rodriguez, super nasty. Dusted. Complete dusteration. You know, look at the final sequences. Rolls right, rolls left, rolls right, rolls left. Bang! Dusted. Really nice final sequence that led to a nasty KO for Brunno Ferreira. So guys, it's really clear to me that Brunno Ferreira's got a decent chance at cashing his TKO prop. All of Brunno's wins are by stoppage. And on the flip side, if you look at Nursultan Raziboev, pretty much all of his wins are by stoppage. Nursultan's got over 40 professional fights, and this fight is low-key one of the most exciting matchups on this UFC card, because guys, either of these fighters can find a TKO stoppage on the feet, and either of these fighters can find a submission on the mat. You know, there's so much violence with this matchup, and that's really what I see. I see a lot of violence, but in my opinion, give me the experience. I'm going to side with Nursultan Raziboev because this guy's been to the cage like 40 times, over 40 times. So he's got a lot of experience, whereas Brunno Ferreira, mainly round 1 stoppages. So we don't really know if Brunno Ferreira's got good cardio. But we do know that when you use a lot of power, it takes a lot of energy. And when you use a lot of energy, it's fatiguing. We do know that. So give me the more experienced fighter, also at plus money, which is, you know, a good trade in this type of matchup. If you're somebody that does want to bet on the Brazilian Brunno Ferreira, the guy that's knocking everyone dead, in my opinion, just take a TKO prop, because that's what he's trying to do. He's not trying to win decisions. He's going to stop Nursultan. On the flip side, if you like Nursultan, you're just going to go with the money line as your bet. But yeah, this is going to be a good matchup, and it's a matchup that you shouldn't miss. You know, this is going to be exciting. There's going to be a lot of violence, a lot of entertainment, and I'm going to side with the underdog, Nursultan Raziboev, to win this matchup. Alright guys, moving into a matchup between Benoit Saint-Denis taking on Ismael Bonfim. Now guys, when I watched Ismael Bonfim debut against Terence McKinney, I remember discussing this fight on YouTube. I remember discussing this fight in my Discord group. I remember having plenty of conversations regarding Terence McKinney and his 1-round cardio, and how Bonfim would be a good investment, a great investment at plus money. However, never did I expect the fight to end in such a way. If you haven't seen the KO stoppage that Bonfim got against McKinney, in my opinion, don't watch it. Guys, when Bonfim landed that knee, literally, I picked up my phone. I was about to ring the ambulance. It was that bad. Guys, Ismail Bonfim's got excellent boxing, sharp as a samurai when it comes to boxing fundamentals and just overall boxing technique. On the flip side, we've got Benoit Saint-Denis, who's a former military soldier who basically proved that in his UFC debut against Lipski. You know, Lipski was putting a real beat down on Benoit and he just stayed in there, you know, didn't quit. And that's really what soldiers are trained to do. You know, they're not going to quit. And obviously very unfortunate when the ref is blind. You know, that's a very unfortunate thing. But yeah, his UFC debut didn't go well, got beaten up really badly, but bounced back with a couple nice wins. And you see that Benoit Saint-Denis is all about grappling, all about wrestling, and he's pretty good at doing that. So yeah, this matchup is a good matchup. I think obviously Bonfim is a much better boxer than Benoit Saint-Denis. But guys, Bonfim was an underdog against a guy who's got 1 round cardio. Benoit Saint-Denis is better than that. You know, he can fight into round 2. He can take like some clean punches and just stay in the fight. If Benoit Saint-Denis can get takedowns, he's really going to cover that price. And that's a big price. You know, this is a wide betting line. In my opinion, the odds are so wide that I would have to advise just betting on the underdog if you're going to bet on this matchup. And that's the same thing as Barber and Rebus from last week. Dumas as well, plus 150. Jack Jenkins, plus 180. It's not really about who's got more chance. When it comes to gambling, it's more about like whose odds reflect reality, if that makes sense. So in my opinion, Benoit Saint-Denis does have a better chance than what his odds are indicating. And that's going to be the side that I would advise if you're going to bet this matchup. And that's not to say that Bonfim isn't good or Bonfim doesn't have more chance. Bonfim's boxing is just so good. It's super good. But the claim that I'm going to make is Benoit has more than 1 round cardio. He's got good grappling and he's also tough. And when you put all those things together, he could potentially cover his price. So for me, I'm going to side with the big underdog, Benoit Saint-Denis. Alright, moving into a matchup between Ariane Lipski and Melissa Gatto. Now, in Ariane Lipski's most recent fight, she was a plus 400 underdog, and I did pick her to win that matchup. And the only reason I did that is very simple. If Lipski could avoid the mat and just show like good takedown defense, her chances were always going to be better than plus 400. And that's essentially what she done. But Melissa Gatto is much better than JJ Aldrich in terms of striking, because JJ Aldrich is very basic, very flat-footed. Whereas on the flip side, Melissa Gatto got some really nice kicks. So in this situation, it's probably going to be a striking matchup. You know, Lipski normally struggles with grappling. You know, takedown defense, that of a newborn baby giraffe. But Melissa Gatto is also happy to stand and strike. So this is going to be a striking matchup. This time round though, I'm going to pick against Ariane Lipski. I think in a striking matchup, Gatto's probably going to do a bit better. But yeah, it's going to be a close striking matchup and I'm going to side with Melissa Gatto. Alright, moving into a matchup between Max Griffin taking on Michael Morales. Now guys, Max Griffin is 37 years old and Michael Morales is 24. So there's going to be a 13-year age difference with this matchup. And those numbers, you can't really ignore those numbers. I know Marvin Vettori is 10 years younger than Jared Cannonier. You know, and that matchup didn't really show that. But most of the time, you know, these older mixed martial artists don't really compete well with the younger guys. For example, Zhalgas Zhumagulov and Josh Van. Josh Van just looked young, fresh, quick. And you kind of saw that more and more as the fight went on. And I do believe that's going to be the same situation with Max Griffin and Michael Morales. You know, Michael Morales has looked good. The way he dusted Adam Fugit, really nice work. And I just think Max Griffin, he's been in close fights with Neil Magny and Tim Means. And that's not a good look. So for me personally, I'm going to be siding with Michael Morales to win this matchup. Alright guys, moving into the co-main event, we've got Damir Ismagulov taking on Grant Dawson. This is a really good co-main event. And Damir Ismagulov is one of my favourite Muay Thai strikers. I've picked all of his fights correctly. I took him in every single one of his fights except the most recent fight, which is against future title challenger Arman Tsarukyan. So yeah guys, Damir Ismagulov has really made me some nice money throughout his UFC career, and to be honest, I do hope he wins this matchup, because this is going to be Damir Ismagulov's retirement fight. So I do hope he can win this matchup, but Grant Dawson is a really good wrestler. He's a really good grappler. His jiu-jitsu is extremely good, and his physical strength. You know, Grant Dawson is really physical. So really it's going to be one or the other. Either Damir Magomedov can get the jab going. His jab is super good. Get the Muay Thai kicks going. Look to really do some damage on the feet against Grant Dawson. Or the flip side is Grant Dawson is able to get Damir Magomedov to the mat and bring him into that type of matchup. And most of the time, Grant Dawson can bring his opponent into that fight. And that's why this co-main event is a good co-main event. For me personally, guys, like I said, I hope Damir Magomedov wins this matchup. But in terms of gambling, in terms of betting, I don't bet fighters that are about to retire. Don't do it. But yeah, I'm going to sit back, not bet on a Damir Magomedov matchup. And I hope he wins. So let's go Team Muay Thai. Let's go. Alright, moving into the main event, we've got Sean Strickland taking on Magomedov. Sean Strickland is better as the fight goes. You know, he likes to stay in the pocket where he can use the jab. But guys, Sean Strickland finds that range more and more as the fight goes. Typically, round one is not his best round. You know, he's got this old-fashioned boxing style where he just wants to stay just in the pocket, where he can use the jab, use the 1-2. But the point I want to make is he's better at doing that as the fight goes on. Whereas, guys, if you look on the flip side, Abus has a lot of round one success. You know, on his record, there's a lot of round one stoppages. And that really shows you that if you're going to bet Sean Strickland, you don't want to bet him before the fight. You don't want to do that. You know, he could get starched round one or even lose round one based on absorbing some big strikes, which is kind of likely to lose round one if you're Sean Strickland. Now on the flip side, Magomedov, if he's going to be the one to find the round one stoppage or win round one, that's the bet you want to make pre-fight. But guys, past round one, Sean Strickland has a lot of experience. So I think he's going to get more into that range where he's going to find the jab as this fight goes on. So if that's going to be the case, don't bet Sean Strickland before the fight. Let him lose round one, and now you're getting plus 150, plus 160. So yeah, that's really going to be like my advice and my breakdown for this matchup. Magomedov is very explosive, very quick, good calf kicks, powerful. But guys, outside of round one, that might start to diminish. You know, he might get tired. Whereas Sean Strickland, like I said, he may lose round one. And that's why I wouldn't advise putting a bet on Strickland before the fight. And this is literally the same thing I said about Sean O'Malley and Peter Yan. If you want to bet Peter Yan, let him lose round one. He always loses round one. And that's exactly what happened. But a lot of people don't really think about the opening exchanges. But those opening exchanges dictate where the line goes. So they do count. They do matter. And that's why I really want to stress to you guys, if you're betting Sean Strickland, you should not be doing it before the fight. But yeah, guys, my official prediction for this main event, I'm going to side with Sean Strickland to win this main event. But I do expect him to lose round one. And from there, he's probably going to work his way back into the main event. Go on to beat Magomedov. That's going to be my pick. So yeah, Sean Strickland is the pick. Personally, I'm not going to be betting on this main event. As always, guys, let me know you're taking in the main event, the co-main event, your underdogs, your parlays, your MoneyCity plays. Drop it all in the comment section below. And as always, keep your eyes to the sky, never glued to your shoes. Peace.